Ladies and gentlemen, how's it going? Once again, I'm Nev from NavStackBits, otherwise known as your friendly neighborhood basement dweller. Don't worry, ma'am, I am from the internet. Today we're checking out Popular Mechanics, December 1977. Could you imagine that? Being rescued by a submarine, just hanging out there, and all of a sudden a giant contraption from under the waves comes over, and a bunch of really nice people come out to try to help you. But seriously, if that thing was tilting back and forth, that guy standing on whatever you call that blade right there would probably be tossed right off. Do subs actually have that? Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think I've ever seen a sub that had one of those. But then again, I'm not much of a seaman. And we got the alcohol, we got the radios. Do we got some cigarettes? No, not yet. Oh, we do, real cigarettes. Wow, I'm not used to them having such a bland advertisement. Things were definitely different in the 70s. I would be so happy if someone bought me a timing light for Christmas. I think even kids would be happy getting something like that. Be like, Dad, look at this crazy awesome light we get to use. It looks like RoboCop's backup laser. Little Timmy would be pleased with that. I know I would be. And here we have the advertisement for Sears Craftsman. Now these old Popular Mechanics, I keep hearing people saying that their parents would buy them Popular Mechanics and Science and Mechanics, Mechanics Illustrated. And the reason that they do that, oh, that's interesting, is to keep everyone on board, basically, to keep them updated. It was almost like having the internet. It was almost like having something like the internet, something coming in to keep the house updated, to keep people looking, reading. It's always good to have kids reading and learning, especially little boys, right? And to those parents that put that money down to get the Popular Mechanics for the kids, I gotta say, 10 out of 10. Excellent parenting. Parenting was definitely harder back in the day, and there's a lot more abuse, a lot more generational trauma, all that stuff, but holy hell, it was a whole lot harder to get by back in the day. I think I've seen a video of someone destroying a toilet by using not a vacuum pump, but the kind that blow energy the other way. And here we got the Ford trucks. Once again, I prefer the old 70s and 80s Ford trucks, or any pickup, American pickup, to things of the same matter today. It seems like they're just not able to hold up the same way that they used to, as if trucks become a little more citified. They've lost their steel and gone to aluminum. I wish that we had a cheap offer like a Chevette or something like that. Like, yeah, I know we got the Fit, but it's not the same. Love old advertisements like this. This is a VIR signal that lets you see color controlled by the broadcaster. Apparently, having color in the feed is just a bit of a hack, a bit of a twist. They figured out a way to hack the signal and hack the cable and mess with it so that it would give off color. I still have to find out how that happened. That sounds so awesome. And a walnut finish cabinet. So there's something the kids really don't seem to know anymore, and that's that, whenever you go out and buy something like a hall tree, back in the day, in the 30s, that hall tree would be wood. Or let's say something like a hall tree, because I guess hall trees went away after the 50s, didn't they? And in the 60s, in the 50s it was plastic, was it? And then it was chrome, and then in the 90s we started coming back to wood again. Forgive me if I got that in the wrong order. All right, some Bel Air cigarettes. Buy the cigarettes that define you as a human being. Anyways, I had a beautiful old hall tree, and my ex-wife really didn't like it because she thought that it was too Victorian, Gothic, Christian. Well, who cares if it's Victorian and Gothic? That's pretty cool. Christian? Is there such thing as Christian furniture? Is this a Christian air mattress? Oh, not with a woman like that on it. It wouldn't be. Not for me, anyways. Legit, I keep wondering what happened to International Harvester trucks. It would seem like if you wanted something that would work nicely and for a long time, then that's what you would have. International. Oh no, please tell me they didn't get bought out by some other corporation that just watered everything down. Is that the way of the West these days? Have all of the good names from back here just been sold out and traded off like RCA? Men will always find ways to have fun with steam. It doesn't matter if they're using a tractor. It doesn't matter if they're powering a nuclear silo. Steam makes all the energy. So back in the 70s, if you were taking a picture of somebody, it meant you were spending a bit of money on them and you thought that it was interesting. And that's why more people smile in the old pictures from back in the day. Not so much these days. A lot of the times if you bring out a camera, unless Sometimes it's just freaking creepy. A lot of people are like, oh, you have a camera? Now let's not talk about the people who just don't want their pictures taken because it'll suck their soul out or something. It's interesting that Kodak seems to have gone on the easy side. They wanted to make the camera easy to use for everyone because holy frick, back in the day, taking a good photograph, it was one thing to take a good photograph, but then you had to get the developer to be good too. Do we still have Datsuns these days? I don't think we do. Of course, going back, it's really interesting to see how mundane some of the advertisements get. I mean, belt buckles, knives, cameras, and cameras were a big deal. You had to know your stuff when you were using them. Oh, guys, my friend on the other side of town, John Glendenning, had one of these. Mercury Zephyr, right on. Yeah, we took a trip to Guelph in the back, and I'm pretty sure that we would travel from town to town during baseball games with kids in the back, and no one got charged. I guess that'd be child abuse these days. Viceroy. I wonder if they were trying to get that changed to the Viceroy symbol. No, that's peace or victory. I can't tell which one. It depends if they're Democratic or Republican. Oh yeah, remember in the 70s and the 80s when they do lots of ads about I was too young to know how happy my life would be. I didn't know about antacids. But anyways, they keep using these bottles to make it seem, cool, not kind of gross. Ah, frick, yeah, chess. All right, so basically, if you have an iPhone 14 or higher, your iPhone can beat any chess master, even the best chess master. That's kind of heartbreaking. Another thing that's kind of heartbreaking is the fact that it legitimately seems as if you can't have a vehicle without having a pretty substantial computer on it. And it seems like computers keep taking over more and more of the gearhead section, which is rough. As time goes on, I gotta wonder how much of the developments on vehicles they put on them just because they want to make non-standardized parts that you have to take back to them to get put back on. I mean, there's so much engineering issues on so many vehicles that if you want to get something off, you got to take the bumper off. I really love the idea of the American Army, Navy, and everything working together. Somebody falls out of the sky, and all of a sudden, a great Cthulhu Kraken-like monster comes up from underneath you. And it's like it's your country, and it's your countrymen, and they just want to save your ass and your balls. You know, they get pretty lonesome down there in the submarine. It's always good to have some fresh. Whoa. Oh, I want that gun. Oh, I want that gun. I heard of a guy that was using a gun like that in the war and came home and his wife divorced him. Heard about that, and the first thing I said is he should have married the gun. Yes, yes. Oh, I love this big weaponry. There is no power like overpower. So me and the boys, we got our squad and we play, Call of Duty and like that, and you get different kinds of weapons. You get your like AK-74U that's like really light submachine gun. You get people that go around and back and they gut people, and then you get snipers. And man, I always like the shock and awe, the explosive. Everyone's coming after me because I'm making the most noise, and then my buddies get around behind them with the shotgun and cut them up. I don't care. I don't care who's beating the enemy team as long as somebody's beating the enemy team. And firing off one of those things in a video game, 100 rounds without letting off the trigger is kind of cathartic. It just feels so good. When your enemies line up, Monte. I get to do all that and not have PTSD. Yay! Oh, check it out. Yes. World War II and Korea versus new. Man. It really makes you think. The first freaking weapon was like a one-off rifle, right? No, I'm thinking World War I. In World War I, we had like a one-shot rifle. Okay, we got the one-shot rifle, and then we started getting the clips and magazines. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that the bar required. Yeah, that makes sense. So, you'll have to forgive me if I made it sound like I really know a whole lot about weaponry. I know, like, topical stuff. I know that once you get one of these down to size, it looks more like a giant piece of, military machinery more than anything. I've seen a few heavy weapons being taken down, and like there's a lot of interesting things that need to be precise, but like for example, World War I Maxim machine gun, when you see one of those taken down, it's interesting how basic it is. New era of healthcare. Medical devices you can use at home. And we probably do a lot of these things. All right, let's check out this new stuff we got. A swiveling razor for your face. Such new and interesting technology. Slot cars. Oh, slotless racing cars. Slotless slot cars. All right. And here we got some very old school video games. Game cartridges. The Telstar arcade system, triangular objects. Yeah, that's a strange one. That's a strange one. And here we have the prices. Video game specifications, computer system, cartridge, professional arcade. Professional arcade? Which one's that? Oh, that's the professional arcade. Okay, I heard about these. You use the bits at the end there to turn back and forth for Pong. Holograms getting closer to your neighborhood theater. I believe this one is using smoke. Lots of new shapes for RV camping, for his pleasure, for her pleasure, for the world. Interesting. Electronic model railroad. Everyone loves model railroads. Let's face it. Oh, we got the scales. N scale, HO. HO is what I spent the most time with, and Grandpa spent more time with the G. G-Unit. Love your cat? Get him a heater system. He deserves it for peeing on your couch. Geez, that is a unique microphone. That's good to get the mic away from your face a little bit. Or maybe they just did it because they wanted to look interesting. Man, Popular Mechanics loved to sell scanner radios and radar detectors, didn't they? Introducing 24-wheel drive from Dodge. That's a lot of wheels, my guys. Once again, I'm disappointed to see that that is a telescope and not a Canon. Kind of heartbroken about that. Kind of heartbroken. Sharpen your chainsaw like a pro. A guy at work taught me there's some things that's just best to just replace. Like the chainsaw. He had the blade of a chainsaw fall apart or something like that, and his buddy said he could repair it. He did, and buddy was using it again, and all of a sudden the chainsaw blade comes off. It wraps itself around the tree. Yep, not doing that again. There's just some things maybe it's best to buy new. Yeah, you can probably tell I don't have the most money because I make decisions like that. Oh, wow, check that out. Chips and barns meet strange houses and barns. Good job, sir. Good job. Everyone loves chainsaw beavers until they build a dam and flood out your home. This winter work in warm climate, your garage. Work in a warm climate. How the frick do those things work? Water? Oh, frick, that's a kerosene heater. I want one. I want one so badly. Touching velvet, I gotta say, there is nothing smoother than velvet on a woman's butt. Just swipe your hand across that. Make sure you get permission first. Beautiful stuff. And that's it from me, Nev from NASDAQ Bits. Like and subscribe if you like this stuff. It's always appreciated, guys. Take care of each other, please.